Here's the truth that no one teaches. The system is rigged, and most people are on the losing side. They work 40 hours a week, they save, and they hand all their money over to a financial advisor and hope that it grows. Meanwhile, the people who understand how money works, they use the same system to get rich. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how money works and how you can flip the game in your favor. The first thing is you need to understand exactly how the money system works. Most people have no idea how capital flows. They think that their money just flows into a vault, into a bank, or maybe into a retirement account, and it just sits there safely. That money gets loaned out, leveraged, repurposed, invested. That's your money, and it's used by the people who understand how to use it. So I didn't learn any of this in school, and this is exactly what I learned when I did my first big deal. When everybody talks about OPM or other people's money, I didn't realize that it's actually mine, or it might be even yours. It's your money that you guys put into a bank or a retirement account. Those people have to invest that money somewhere to be able to pay you into your quarterly statement that comes into your mailbox every so often. It either performs or it doesn't form, and there's all these fees associated with all that money management. So when you put your money into a 401k or a retirement account, or when you hand your money over to some financial planner, or when you park it in a savings account at a very low interest, you're actually giving it to someone else who's building their wealth, not yours. Wall Street is built on this model. It wasn't until I was in the Lehman Brothers boardroom in New York City, before they went down, by the way, that I fully understood this concept. Here I was sitting with a bunch of money managers looking to invest in me and the projects that I was investing in back in Arizona and Nevada. They were the ones with the problem. They were looking for how to place it back to Main Street. So the money starts on Main Street, goes to Wall Street, everybody takes their fees, and then it eventually makes its way back down to Main Street. This system gathers money from the masses, puts it into funds, then buys assets, takes its fees, and then cashes it out in the back end. It wasn't until I was on the inside where I fully understood that this is how the system worked. So now that I understand the system, I realize that all money is managed. Now that I understand the system, I realize that I don't really need debt or equity before I find a really good deal, because I know that it's sitting there waiting on the shelf with some asset management company somewhere. Whether it's in New York or not, somebody's managing your money, and it needs to be placed back down to Main Street. All they need is a good deal and a good operator. This is exactly what I do in real estate. When I raise equity for a multifamily deal, the majority of the equity comes from someone else. It's always other people's money. It could be private, or it could be public, or it could be a family office. It doesn't really matter. For those of you who are pouring your hard-earned money into pensions or retirement plans, you just need to understand that the whole system is based on this exact model. And then they restrict you on exactly what it is you can invest in. And this is the boom of the self-directed retirement plan. So there's a whole industry that's been created where you can pull your money out of the system into a self-directed vehicle, which means that you can now manage it yourself. But most employers and most financial planners make it very difficult because they want to keep the money and they want to keep the fees, and they limit what it is that you can actually invest your money into. Oftentimes, that money is going to be directed into the ones that have the highest commissions for those people that are managing it. Financial education equals financial power. The people with the least financial education are the ones that are going to get hit the hardest financially. They save in the wrong places, they trust the wrong advisors, and they don't understand taxes, leverage, or inflation. And here's the real problem. They're funding the profits for the people who do understand it. And the wealthiest people, they do not park their money. So what do I mean by that? When I get a bunch of money coming in, the last thing I want is for it to be sitting in a savings account. I want to move that money out into something that actually is making me more money. Why would I want to make 1 or 2% in a savings account when I can be making 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% cash on cash into some kind of passive income or cash flowing asset, especially one that's growing in value? That's how the wealthy manage their money. The wealthy buy assets. They use depreciation and the tax benefits, and they raise capital for whatever it is that they need. Once you learn that money is a tool and not a destination, then you'll start to think differently. You'll stop asking questions like, can I afford this? Which is exactly how I grew up and probably exactly how a lot of you grew up. My household always said, we can't afford this, we can't afford that. And guess what? It was true. Eventually, you start to realize that the real question is, well, how can I afford this? And what can I do personally to be able to buy this and afford this? When you stop asking, can I afford this? You start asking a better question, which should be, how can I afford this? How can I buy this? And should I buy this? Does it have cash flow? Does it have potential future value? Does it have value creation for me and for my investors? Who do I need to know in order to buy this or grow this? What team members do I need in order to create value? Those are many questions that wealthy people ask themselves. That's how wealthy people think. And this is exactly how I built my entire career. The game changer is seeing what other people don't. The real shift starts when you stop thinking like a consumer. You want to be a producer. You want to be an investor. Let me give you a couple real examples that many of you might have heard me talk about before, which I'm doing right now. Right now, I'm buying billboards. So most people see a billboard and they think, oh, it's just a sign on the road. I see cash flow. I see ads. I see real people paying ads, real casinos, real attorneys, real car dealers. They're all advertising on billboards all over town at $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month. I see cash flow. Most people see a sign. And now that I know the numbers, I see $100,000 to $300,000 a year in cash flow. So I bought and sold billboards over the years, and some of them I've even value added. I've taken a two-sided and put up a digital to increase the number of ads. That's called a value add in a billboard. If I was never in the billboard game, I would have never understood how to do it. Right now, we're in the process of buying 6 more billboards on a deal right now where a seller wants to sell all 6. I see an overlooked asset class that throws off a bunch of income, holds value, and has incredible tax benefits. Most people just see a sign on the side of a road. The same thing happens when I fly into a city and they have lots of cranes in the air. Most people think, traffic, look at all this construction, pain in the butt. I'm thinking, who funded that deal? What's the deal structure? Who owns the corner now, and what's their exit plan? There's always an opportunity right in front of you. It's just a matter of what you're trained to see. Once I realized this, now I see opportunities everywhere. And that's what a true entrepreneur does, is they see those opportunities and they bring it to people who don't see those opportunities. They raise the money for those opportunities and they create massive cash flow and massive value for yourself and for your investors. The truth is, the system is not going to change, but you can change the way that you play it. You can keep working 40 hours a week and saving what's left and handing your future to a financial planner whose job and design is to extract value from you. That model keeps you out of the financial education game. Or you can flip the script. You can own assets instead of funding someone else's. You can leverage capital instead of saving it. You can learn how the game works and start playing to win. The difference between those two paths, it's not about luck or IQ or having rich parents, which most of us don't have. It's about access to the right knowledge, access to the right rooms, access to the right people who've already done what it is you're trying to do yourself. This is exactly why I created Limitless Expo. Because once you see how money really works, you can't unsee it. And when you start thinking like the people on the other side of the wealth equation, you stop being the product and you start being the producer and the investor. Limitless is for real investors. It's for people who see the world a little bit differently and are crushing it in their individual space. And the goal of going to Limitless, of course, is to try to get around those people and just see what they see. So then, of course, you too can see the same thing. And then after that, you can't unsee it. So like last year, this year, Limitless, we're going to have over 50 speakers with 3 different stages. And you're going to learn a ton of stuff. You just got to show up. You got to be in the right rooms with the right people listening to the things that interest you. And that's going to change each and every year. You are in charge of your own path, but you have to be in the right room with the right people. I have a question for you. Could you survive a financial crisis? If your paycheck stopped tomorrow, how long could you last financially? Most people don't know, and that's why financial stress is so overwhelming. In this next video, I created a financial stress test just for you so you can put your own finances to its own ultimate test. You can watch that here.